Hello, hello, everyone.
Hey, welcome everybody. Thank you so much. So glad everybody joining us today for this near the end of the year. So we're ending the year with new beginnings and expanding intentions. This week's live stream is a bit different from our usual format as we stroll through streams of past. Oh, wait a minute. Gary, is it streams of future? Hmm. Bring out the moments and the topics that grabbed your attention and have been deemed as the best to prepare you for things to come. We've said many times that 2022 is going to be awesome for you. Rather than focusing on the trials and tribulations of the last 2 years, we'll take the same chaos that you've been experiencing that is attempting to engulf the eye of the storm and use it as a launch pad into the awe inspiring universe of possibilities. We'll delve into our new Get Wired for Success series, all while dabbling in our laboratory of potentiality that we call the Master Lab, with portals and synchronicities, vibrational frequency, and the ever encompassing Fear 180, and all blended with new ideas, new technologies, and new realities. Once again, challenging your perception of reality and demonstrating new ways to identify, define, and create new, more exciting concepts that will pierce that existing veil and allow an unstoppable life to unfold before you. And all you have to do is choose.
Yeah, I mean, we got some really great stuff coming for you guys in the new year. So, hello, everyone. Welcome to
Hey,
episode
welcome.
64 of Hacking the Infinity Matrix. 2022, a year. Sorry, 2021, a year in. See, there, I'm past and future already, Ross.
See? I did that on purpose.
Yeah. 2021, a year in review, part one. Let me tell you, we went back and forth for quite a while to
Yeah.
decide which of the 50 episodes we were going to highlight in order to piece together, a couple of final hacks for this year in a fairly unique way, we believe, right? But before we get into that, please let us know in the chat where you're joining us in from today. I've seen Dimitri already popping up in there, but go
Yeah,
ahead
there we
and let
are.
us know in the chat where you're joining in from. Jimmy No Lips says he loves cheddar cheese sandwiches. I'm not sure what that has to do with what we're doing, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Um, so yeah, let us know in the comments whatever platform you're tuning in on. Just let us know where you're coming in from, so we can kind of get a good idea. And even if you've been a regular, I know it can seem redundant because we ask you all the time, and you may have told us before, but it really helps us to get an idea week by week where we're impacting people and touching people around the planet, or as I say, strong by strong instead of week by week. And we get to see our global reach that way. So please help us out. And also, if you find this info of value to you and could possibly help someone else that you know, it is the season for giving. So let them know about the stream. Go ahead and drop the share
Exactly.
button and share it with them, tag them, and do whatever you need to do to get them on. So there we go. We got a few more. We got Alberta in the house. We've got Somerset, England. I had a few others rolling in here.
There's some new ones.
And
Great.
yeah, so two other final housekeeping things as you guys continue to kind of let us know where you're tuning in from. Um, One is, if you're a first timer, if you're a rookie, if you're a novice at hacking the Infinity Matrix, and you've only just stumbled upon our amazing weekly broadcast, please drop us a hashtag first time in the chat so we can properly greet you into the community on whatever platform you're watching us on right now. Okay. And second, you should know that we do have a private Facebook group that everyone's invited to join for free. The group is dedicated for people who really want to take things to the next level in creating the reality they desire. Okay, we have group exclusive content and a VIP option that gets bonuses and freebies that no one else is going to get anywhere else. So go head on over to facebook.com/groups the Infinity Matrix. Let me put it up on the screen here for you guys in the meantime. There we go. That one
Yeah,
there.
and Gary, I'll just add to that also is that we have a number of people also that are referring us to their friends and such. Like,
Yeah.
there's an option where you can refer the group to a friend, and
Yeah, so if you're already part of the group, then go ahead and refer it that way. That can invite them into the group as well to be a part of this community.
mhm,
When you get there, fill out the 3 entry questions, and that'll give you instant access into it. Otherwise, the system kind of bumps you to the side a bit, and it's not automatic. But you will be automatically accepted once you answer those. And you can join into our growing, buzzing community of over 8,000 members now. We hit 8,000 just recently. So you all are welcome to jump in and join in that. Okay. Now, let's get back to these 2 final hacks that we're piecing together for you this week and next. I guess I should explain for the newbies, or at least review for the regulars, that we do our best to add what we call an infinity matrix hack into just about every stream we do, because we believe that there's a lot of people out there giving information, but it's just information. They're not really giving you tangible things to take away, to apply, and to get some results with. And we really are more about giving you things that you can kind of go out there, test it out, see if it holds water, and then come back and talk to us about it. Let us know how it, the impact. There's a bunch of people coming in from different places. That's awesome.
yeah.
So this is something that you can take away and apply into your life right after the stream to test it out and see how you can actually hack the matrix to create or expose different realities for you. Okay, so we thought it would be a fun idea to reflect back on the past streams that we did over the last year, and kind of string them together in a way that would kind of lay out a particular strategy for you. You could really, here's the hint, you could really do that with any 5 of the 50 that we've done, or the 60 plus we've done, and do the same thing, right? But these are just the ones we decided to put out for this week. Right, you string them together, and that would lay this particular strategy based on the content in each of those streams, so that you are left with a strategy for transformation as we head into 2022. Right? A solid, very powerful and impactful strategy that you can utilize. Right, and the first one we thought we'd bring to your attention is way back in episode 23. Ross, this was one that we refer back to on many streams.
Yeah.
We kind of tap back into those lessons on many different streams since then. So why don't you give everyone a refresher on what we call the formula, and then let's talk about why we pulled it from our list for the stream, and possibly how they can utilize it.
Well, so I mean, as Gary said, this is episode 23. We're going to kind of do an overview of it because we think it's so important. It is kind of one of the part of the main foundation or framework of all of the work that we do. And so it's really important to get a refresher on it. And also, if you haven't seen it, go back to episode 23 and look at it, and it's powerful. But the equation that we taught back then, and throughout all of our programs, is that thoughts and beliefs are multiplied by action squared. And this means that this variable has the potential to drastically alter the reality you experience by the power of 2 times more than any of the other variables. And there's a saying that goes, massive action breeds massive results, and consistent action breeds long-term results. And basically it's saying that the type of action that you can take, and you can alter the type of result. In other words, the reality that you're going to experience. And we pulled part of this, the idea of when we were coming up with this formula, partly came back from way back when people were watching The Secret, and it was a great introduction to these types of processes, and it had its it had its moment, but it was missing so much of the formula. And I go back, I say it, I could do a rant on this in episode 23, where you just have people say, look, I'm just going to sit on the couch and I'm just going to think about what I want. It's like, well, there's more to it than this. And that's why we really took some time and really tried to develop this formula. And it really came down to, it's like, Gary and I, we do these brainstorming sessions. It's like, okay, so what do we do now, he and I, that we just kind of automatically do, that we've ingrained it into our behavior. And we just broke it all down into these pieces. And it's like, okay, so somewhere in all this, there's a formula, and let's put it together. And we've trained this to many, many people and had massive results. So the reality that you are experiencing formulates on a moment-to-moment basis because of the quality and the quantity of thoughts that you have that are most consistently and congruently in alignment with that reality. So Gary, the infinity matrix, it's not biased. It's only there to reflect back to you what you put back into it. And then the real game changer is the quantity and the quality of actions that you take. Actions that you take. And Gary's always stressed the key variable to the formula is detachment. So why do you feel that this is such a critical variable? Because we went back and forth on this a lot. And
well, it's not only critical, but it's possibly the hardest part of the equation to master. Right? Because it's a paradox, right? It's like you want something and you want to have this desire for it and kind of project that out there, but the more you do that, the harder it is for the universe to give it to you, right? It's critical because the more attached we are to an outcome happening in a specific way, the more we're actually limiting the possibilities for how, when, and even where it shows up in our reality. So let me give you an example, all right? If my thoughts are that I want to manifest a pen, right? I fully believe that I can manifest a pen, right? So I have the thoughts, I have the belief, right? Then I proceed to take the action to acquire that pen, whether it's going out to look for it, to research it. There's some actions that need to happen for me to let the universe know that it's not just a fleeting thought, right? And so I'm fully if I'm fully attached to a very specific pen, attached to it showing up in a very specific way and at a certain time, then what I've done is I've restricted the infiniteness of all that is into that specific formula. Right? So it doesn't really allow the flow of infinite possibilities to have that pen gifted to me, to have it delivered to me. So I don't have to leave my house. It just shows up. Right? For me to find the pen at any time in the day or any place that I could have gone. So, I step out of my car and it reduces my capacity to just find it there. And all the other infinite ways that pen could show up into my reality. And now you replace that pen with money, relationship, health, you name it. I mean, just replace that object of the thing that you want into that formula, and it's the same thing, right? If you're very specific, it has to happen this way, then you blank out. Your reticular activating system will only look for it to show up in that way, even if right beside. So if any of the other options start to be presented into my reality outside of that what I've focused on, there's a great chance that I'll probably overlook those opportunities and completely miss them, because this is my focus. And it's happening right here. It's happening right here. It's happening right here. It's happening right here. Right? So I miss them because I was so locked into and attached that one way for me to acquire that pen. So
Exactly.
when you set an intention in 2022 and beyond for one possible way, then you start to align with the idea that again, with one possible way, and that's the key, right? When you align with it being one possible option, then you align with the idea there are many other possibilities as well, right? And then when you detach from when the detaching tells the infinity matrix that your thoughts, your beliefs, and your actions are preparing you for the vibrational frequency to have the pen in a way that would best serve your mind, body, and spirit, or yourself, your spiritual evolving life force. Right? So it's really about tapping into the vibrational frequency and then allowing things to come to you as you maintain the right thoughts and beliefs while taking the actions based on what excites you the most from moment to moment, because that's the vibration that's going to bring it to you.
Yeah, and I think that's where we really missed the boat on that, and that's possible. A lot has to do with the way that people are being taught these days. You know, they say, no, you need to be this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And you're like, okay, you know, you're the dude, you're the guy, this and this and this and this and this. And they forget these other pieces. You know, yeah, you can be specific about what you want,
Yeah.
what it is, not how it's going to transpire, how it's going to become. And we're going to, I think later on in today's episode, or is it next week's, that we're going to talk about synchronicities and how they are also part of this whole formula. And that's what we've been teaching for the last year. So it's like we say all the time, you tune into your highest vibrational frequency of what's at your core, which is your passion. And that's a place full of infinite power to transform and generate any reality that we desire. The more you take actions from that place of high frequency, the more rapidly you can alter your reality. But here's the kicker: you must make those actions without that attachment to the outcome. You shouldn't be doing it for the outcome.
Yeah.
Let me repeat that. You must take those actions without any attachment to the outcome. You shouldn't be doing it for the outcome. I'm going to give you an example that just kind of popped into my head. It's like when you do a favor for someone, expecting a reward for it. Not doing a favor for someone because you want to help someone. Does that work out for you? Does that make sense to you, Gary?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So that's kind of what it is. It's like, and this could be for anything. It really can. So just detach. This is like, I would like blank. Okay, I would like to be like this. I would like to be like this. I would be like to be like this. But you kind of stop at, I would like it at this moment, and this in this particular fashion. I want it to go follow this road and such, because what you're saying is that you know more than the universe.
Yeah.
And we want you to be tapped into an infinite stream of energy waiting to formulate in the way that serves you. In other words, maybe the universe knows just a little bit more than you do.
Or at least has more access to resources than you do.
Exactly. So you have that higher mind, which is relatively above you, looking way down the road,
Yeah.
way down, going, yeah, you're thinking pretty small when I can see all the potential. If you allow this to happen this way,
Yeah.
and I'm going to send
It's
you little,
it's like one
little
of our teachers says that, when you're going up the mountain, you only see the path you're on. But when you get to the top of the mountain and you look down, you see all the potential paths that could have happened.
exactly. Exactly. Or the old adage, the forest, the tree, you're so in the forest that you can't, so in the trees, you can't see the forest.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly. Yeah.
There we go. So all of these have these little parables and things. They all have these really, really, really potent messages.
Yeah.
But we are thinking so small. So, one of the things that we do is say, listen, let's look at this differently. Let's think about this differently. And that's what the universe is telling you is too. That's the whole power behind synchronicities. Synchronicity is all about it just going, let me just see if you're serious.
Mhm.
Let's see how attached you are to what it is that you're looking for, or how attached you're not, or how detached you are. So now here's the caveat to all of that. Your final reality result is completely determined by the amount of detachment that you have to any specific outcome to those actions. It's really that important. It really, really is. Have you ever perhaps experienced yourself or known a friend who has had a hard time finding a relationship? Okay. And finally, they just say, you know what? I just stopped. I just stopped looking.
Yeah.
I was
The
just
moment they
so,
do.
I was so tired of this. And then, boom, my soulmate just appeared.
Yeah. Or they're flooded with options, yeah, after
Yeah,
they.
exactly. And I can say that from absolute, my own experiences
Yeah.
and such. I was just like, I'm done with this. I'm tired of looking. I'm tired of looking. And boom, there's my soulmate. Gary's had the same experience.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, the other half of me just showed up in my life, and you just know it. And it's just amazing. So let's look at the 6-step micro hack that Gary developed. Okay.
Yeah, so let's start with the first one. I mean, the first one was in that episode, is to think of a desired outcome that you'd like to have,
Mhm.
and um, again, it's the paradox, right? We do have to put the intention out there with as much clarity as possible, which means really defining the details as much as you can of what it is you want. I like to think of it like. Think of it like a bullseye, right? So if you're an archer and you've got the bullseye, you've got the very center, which is the absolute ideal, right? And if you pull the arch back, if you don't have that in focus, then your arrow is going to go all over the map. You're not going to get the target, right? And so by defining that bullseye, that center point of what your desired outcome is, you start to tell the universe that, oh, okay, that's the core vibrational frequency that I want to attract. And if I don't get the exact center, but I get something on the second rung or the third rung or the fourth, at least it's on the board, right?
Oh, so you've seen me at the range.
But the more clear we are on what that is, and then the universe can kind of know that that's the core essence. What are the core essence of that vibration is? So if it's let's say it's finances, you got a specific amount that you want. Well, the universe will say, okay, well, the more clear you are on what that amount is, the more the universe can understand what the underlying desire is for the money. What is it that you want the money for? right? So let's say I want to have I want to generate, let's say $5,000, right? And let's say I put that out there, the $5,000 this month, and I tell that out to the universe, and I do all the other, I do all my stuff. The more clear I can be on the exact, so it's, if I say it's $5,216, it's very precise, right? The universe then can start, then gets the vibration of, well, what does Gary want that money for? And maybe Gary wanted that money for, a down payment on something, or or to take family on a trip, or something like that, right? And the universe says, okay, so while the money is great, that's the bullseye. If Gary were to be gifted that cruise for his family, I'm sure he wouldn't mind. Okay, so I'm not locked into how it happens, but I'm very clear on what it is I want.
But
Right?
but if Gary said, I want this in this specific way,
Mm-hmm.
I want this to come from
A specific client,
a
or comes
specific
from a
person
family member,
through a
or yeah,
specific channel or whatever, and the gift comes up, like, well, no, I don't want,
yeah.
you just like,
That's like me telling the arrow how to get to the board.
exactly.
Right? And it's not for me to decide that. It's only for me to point the arrow. Then the arrow can figure it out on its way.
Right. Well, let's go back to your pen example. So,
Yeah.
and it's funny that you use that as an example, because I just happen to have something here. So let's say that I am putting out there that I need a pen. I want a pen. Okay, and then this shows up. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So kind of looks like a pen,
Mm-hmm.
holds just like a pen, but oh, it's an X-Acto knife. It's not quite. I need to be more specific about what I'm looking for. So then I narrow down my field and narrow field, and then this one shows up. Okay. Oh, well, this is all right. This is blue and it writes, and so, oh, wait a minute. This isn't a pen. It's a pencil. It's a mechanical pencil. I'm getting closer.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I just narrowed it. But these are kind of falling into synchronicities. It's like, oh, well, then there. Okay, well, let me just refine this. Okay, I'm getting close. I'm identifying these. I'm getting close. I'm getting close, and then ultimately this one shows up.
Or another option. Again, this is where we're saying that if you're locked into one model, then you miss out on. Or the pen comes, or sorry, the mechanical pencil comes, and Ross goes, "Oh, I just needed a writing utensil. Great."
There you go. Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
But if we're locked into it just being a pen and not getting to the source of why, or the core of it, and
Right.
allowing that to bring it to you, which is tapping into the self, what the spiritual development life force needs. Right?
Exactly.
And so that's why we're saying so step one is to be clear on your outcome. And then step two is to imagine or visualize the outcome as real as possible. And place it in front of your face visually, place it in front of you. And then just breathe into it. So this is like a little exercise, a little step-by-step exercise you can do. Step one, get clear on your outcome. Step two is you visualize the outcome as real as possible, and in your visualization, bring it close to you so you feel as a part of your surrounding, a part of it's within grasp, right? And then breathe in your imagination, breathe into it, and feel the energetic connection that you have to that preferred reality. So feel the energetic connection to that pen doing what it needs to do for you, right? And then when you do that, then you imagine, and I believe we talked in that stream about the Hawaiians called what they call the aka chords, which are
Yes,
these
you did.
ethereal energy chords that
Yep.
connect us to people and things, right? And so what we want to do is imagine that any energy chords, any energy connections that we have between your body and your vision, is to notice that, and notice that flow of energy that you have there in your imagination, however you create your imagination to be, right? Then you breathe in, and then imagine, you're sucking the emotions into your body and feeling them completely of that reality. And then as you exhale, what you're going to do is you're going to breathe and imagine the image, sending that energy back into that outcome being manifested. Right? So you breathe into it and you imagine the energy of those emotions going into that manifestation. And then you connect with your higher self and say, okay, you know, show me how it's going to happen, or allow it to happen for me. Give me some insights, give me some synchronicities, allow it to show up in the way that's going to serve you. Right? And so you hand it over to your higher self. This is the detaching part. You detach and you say, let those energy cords, you kind of imagine you're just detaching, they're retracting back to that imagined reality, and and so that it has the freedom to show up however it can, instead of the attached perceived biases that you might have.
Exactly.
And then notice how things start to show up. Right? So so that's that was an awesome hack. So if you haven't checked it out, go back and check it out. We do have the replays at Hacking the Infinity Matrix. Let me put it up here: hackingtheinfinitymatrix.com/replays. For next couple of weeks, we are going to be changing that link for there we go, /replays. We're going to be changing that link for specifically for VIP members in the private group in the new year. So that link will no longer work. But if you want to catch the replays in the meantime and get some, binge watching over the holidays, if you're on holidays where you're at, then you can go ahead and check that out there. But yeah, it's a really, really powerful process. Just listen to the info, go ahead and do the hack and get the hack. And we would strongly suggest you practice that into 2022.
It works, guys. It works.
Yeah. And
So
again,
well.
please don't be someone who just sits on the sideline with this stuff. Take it as, don't just take it as entertainment, because while we like to be entertaining, it's not our intention. And don't take it as something that's just, oh, that's interesting content. While we like to be interesting, it's not our intent. That you don't just do anything with. Don't put it into that category. Let's make 2022 a year of living with audacity and executing with tenacity. Right? Make that your motto for 2022. It's a year of living. We should put a meme on that, Ross. Let's create a meme on that, because make 2022 a year of living with audacity and executing with tenacity. Right? We challenge you, like we do every week, to use these hacks and find the ones that make the biggest impact for you and start your journey, a quest, if you will, to master the art of designing your reality. Right? We'll upload the graphic with those steps in the private group that I mentioned at the beginning of the stream. And again, mentioning it here, you can head over to facebook.com/groups/the Infinity Matrix. I'll put it up here again. There we go. And is that the right one? Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So free to join, right? So there's no excuse there. Just all you got to do is you answer 3 simple questions. It'll automatically pop you into the membership, and then you can find this post, the stream, the post that has this stream, and we'll be adding the graphics there over today and tomorrow. We've got a bunch, so give us a little bit of time to kind of put them together and post them up for you.
And to give you guys a little reminder, and for the new people that are joining us, I mean, this very sentence, this meme that Gary just said, is one of the reasons that we got so passionate about what we do, because we've been in the personal development business for a long time, both participating and putting on training. We've worked with a lot of clients. But when it comes to people that go to seminars, and I'm almost positive, 99.99999%, that you've met people who are motivated and they're just, yes, I'm going to be like this and I'm going to be like this. And I bought this package and I bought this package. And you go to their house and they're just sitting on the shelves. They're not implementing. And this is why we put so much content into these live streams, is because you've got to implement. You have to.
And we want to take the excuses away. You can't say, oh, they didn't give us solid. Hey, we're giving you, go back and look. We are giving you some top-notch stuff,
Yeah.
right? And one of the things we like to continually remind you of is that if you don't take responsibility and control of your reality, then there are plenty of people, organizations, and or entities out there that are more than happy to influence you to live in a reality that they constructed.
That sounds familiar.
So in episode 30, right, we brought to light that it is possible for you to position yourself in the eye of the storm.
Right.
Right, Ross, I remember that you talking about in that episode. I remember you talking about how early we start to become influenced by those environmental things like our parents or family members, and you talked about how our mirror neurons fire off like crazy to imitate the people around that are most impressionable in the first 7 years of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You want to talk about the mirror neurons just for a second, and then I think I got an example I want to talk about here.
Well, the mirror neurons first go into effect when we are an infant, before we can talk. Okay, they are analyzing. They are analyzing the environment. Okay, and primarily, it is the infant looking at the parent, and the parent smiles, and then the mirror neurons kick in, and then they start to smile.
Yeah.
Okay. If the parent has a, whatever face that parent has, or intention, or energy level, or emotion.
Yeah, which I was going to say, it goes even beyond
mirror.
just what they see, right? It's if they're energetically feeling something,
Exactly.
they start to mirror and match that too, right?
Exactly. So
If
think of a child like this. So everybody's seen pictures of the brain, and the brain's all squishy and got all kinds of bumps and all that kind of stuff. Okay. Well, when a child is born, their brains are smooth. Okay. And then as they start to learn, because they're learning, when they're learning, they're building new neurons.
impressions are made, there's no coincidence in the words we use in our
Reflections are made, impressions
yeah,
are made.
the
Exactly.
impressions, and which kind of is a good segue to January, which we're talking about words and the power of words. But
Yes.
so to look out for that. But yeah, and so when we think about that being there from the get-go, that we're wired that way, right? For many years, I hypothesized that one of the reasons, not the only variable, but I do believe one that many people overlook, one of the reasons that family members or friends get sick at the same time, or one after another, may have something to do with more than just the virus that makes them sick. So hear me out for a second on this.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So and I don't even know if I've shared this with you before, Ross. So when we're around people we like, love, or mildly care for, okay, the way we neurologically maintain that rapport goes back to those mirror neurons.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
The way we maintain rapport with them is that we unconsciously synchronize our breathing, our movements, our motions, our language, even our belief systems, so that all systems are saying, I like that person. So the more that I can be in rapport, and this is where the mirror neurons, like I said, come into play, the more I can mirror that person, the stronger the bond will be. You see where I'm going here? All right. So if that person is one in the relationship with the more perceived influence, right? And then that person, if that person gets sick, then your entire human system starts to match and mirror them to build unconscious rapport. Then that means you're changing your vibrational frequency to another human being that is expressing sickness. So your body has very little choice but to do anything else but to change your own immune system to take on that expression and maintain that rapport. Right now, this of course is a very simplified example, but I'm telling you that in my 30 plus years of working with clients, people on a personal and professional level, I've seen the pattern many times where groups of people who hang together, work together, or live together, and those that are in rapport get sick, and those in the same environment who are not a part of the friend group but still in the same environment, they don't develop any of the symptoms. So why is that? Why is it that one immune system decides to downplay itself to bring in that quote unquote sickness or illness, and another one doesn't? Right? My hypothesis is it goes back to these mirror neurons.
I
Right?
agree.
So much so that I've tested it for myself. That I can be around family members who are who are in, you know, like all kinds of sickness, whatever the flu-ish type year stuff or whatever that goes on with family, with kids or whatever, and I'll intentionally put myself in the middle of them and be able to maintain a level of rapport that I can still relate with them, but not get so much that I'm caught up in the energetic side of it and get the sick, because I get very sick very rarely. It's very rarely. Usually when I do, it's because I've run myself down and I haven't listened, tuned in, and that kind of stuff. So I've forgotten, or I've gotten caught up in something and not tuned into to myself. But very rarely in the last 35, 40 years, I very people who know me know that they almost never see me sick or unhealthy. Right? So so it comes down to, which was the whole premise of that talk, was whose matrix are you living in? I mean,
Exactly.
can you place yourself in the eye of the storm and not get swooped up into the chaos?
Well, whose matrix are you living in? That, well, in that episode, we used a quote from Aldous Huxley, and it goes like this. It goes, "There are things known and there are things unknown, and in between are the doors of perception."
Yep.
So that perception is you. And which doors are you opening? Or do you have them all open? Or are you selecting the doors that you want to open in your environment? So you're right. Being in the eye of the storm is a powerful place to be if you can get there. So let's look deeper at the benefits of constantly being in the eye of the storm. A place of choice for those of you who are not familiar with that. Okay, we call it the choice convergence point, or the CCP. You'll hear us refer to it in one way or another. And many of our students have reported that prior to our programs, being pulled away from their plans and their choices by the covert influencers out there. How does this equate to living a version of someone else's truth? So, in other words, we see this a lot, and we've done many episodes regarding this, but this isn't a conspiracy. Okay? It's really not. Part of it is human behavior, theirs and ours. Part of it is on purpose, but it's not for the sake of, the mastermind plan. It's pretty much for the sake of selling you stuff or making you go in a particular direction. Okay. But all of these, they to create that storm around you, what does it do? Creates confusion, creates chaos. And if you're stuck in that confusion, you're stuck in that chaos, you simply are more worried about what's right in front of you. I just need to take care of this.
Mhm.
Who out there has said that at one time or another? There's just so much. I just need to take care of this. Aha, that's what I wanted you to do. That's exactly what I wanted you to take care of. Because while you're taking care of this, this is happening. Or you're taking care of exactly what I influenced you to take care of. So it can be very convoluted. The choice convergence point puts you in the eye of the storm, where it's calm, and you can watch that chaos swirling around you. And you're standing in a place of calmness and peacefulness, where you can just, okay, I see this, I see this. It's the 30,000 foot view.
Mhm.
You can see the whole plan. You're at the top of the mountain, when Gary said earlier, you're at the top of the mountain and seeing the whole path. You're seeing the whole forest. You're seeing the whole horizon. So you know what's going on there. You're not so much worried about right here. That's the choice convergence point. It's the center. And this is where we want to keep you as much as we possibly can, if not all the time. So you're always looking at the big picture. You're always in a place of calmness. You're not stressed. The fact that your perception today is the result of the full sum of your past conditioning and the definitions, the rules, and the beliefs that you've established up to this point in time. How have you approached this, the quelling of this, the previous influence and the conditioning? How have you? Think about this. How are you handling this? What is influencing your decisions? It doesn't have to be something right now. It could be something from 5 years ago,
Mhm.
something from that 1 to 7 year age time. Your parents, your grandparents, your babysitters, your best friends, your teachers. Your the influencer that you follow on Facebook or any social media platform, a sports figure, a entrepreneur, and such. I'm not saying that it's good or bad. I'm just saying it's an influence. So where is that decision coming from? So we can start to look at what those definitions are and what kind of rules people have set up for the way that they interact with the world, and also look at and change beliefs that are no longer serving you. And changing beliefs is a big one. And let's talk about identifying and defining those current beliefs and the patterns that they create.
Yeah, and that's a loaded conversation for sure. Which we need a
All right,
couple of streams to go through more, but
10 words or
you know,
less.
because ultimately everything comes, and we talk about it all the time. Everything comes down to the definitions we have and believe to be true,
It's my
right?
favorite topic.
and
Yes.
and many times those definitions don't originate from ourselves, which is what Ross is talking about. Who's influencing it? They're usually projected or reinforced by external sources. Like, for example, if we say, what is your definition for what sadness is in your reality, right? And you think about that, how did you come to that definition? Think about it. Because before you ever felt, experienced, or observed sadness, did you have a definition for it? Because, I mean, the way that we're tapped into this particular reality, if there was no definition, how would you know that that's what it was you were experiencing? And you can say that about really everything in your reality. To experience something, you have to have a definition for it. And the moment you have a definition is the very moment you lock into the belief that it is true and real.
Gary, let's go back to what we were talking about before about the mirror neurons.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're an infant and such, and you don't know anything. You're basically just absorbing stuff.
Hmm.
So your eyes at this particular moment see the sad face
Yeah.
from your mother. Your system, being a
Hmm.
receiver, feels the sadness being transmitted by her body, by her essence. And there will be some other there. So that is
Well, let me just jump in there, Ross. We don't know that it feels the sadness per se. It feels the energy,
it's a shift. It's a different.
and then
It's
it gets
that's what I'm saying.
labeled as sadness as we start to understand language and all those other things,
Correct.
right?
But you
Yeah.
sense it's going to be a sense of uneasiness
Yes.
of some sort. It's just
Yeah.
like, well, I don't feel the same,
A sense
and
of dis-ease. Yeah.
disease, and possibly, I think, regardless, this is we're not going to feel we're not going to feel the ease. Yeah, we're not going to feel the ease that we were feeling previous. So
Yeah.
wait a minute. So I'm feeling this feeling of disease, this shift in energy.
Yeah.
Mom's face looks like that.
Hmm.
There might be a tear coming down. There is maybe yelling in the background. So all of this is the beginning of learning, the
It gets
beginning of
stored, and then as you
the
go, and
beginning of
then as
defining.
the yeah,
This is the beginning of a definition.
yeah,
That's the point that I'm trying to make here, is that
yeah.
this is where a definition begins. And as we get older and learn more, then we take in even more of this
Hmm.
information. And then someone tells us as well, is like, well, you know what? Yeah, that's partly a part of a definition, but this is also a definition of being sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, um, and then you start to learn that music can make you sad. Well, okay, how? How does it do it? But this is where Gary and I are always constantly saying, it's like, just step back, say, where did this definition come from? How did I acquire it? Who gave it to me?
Yeah.
That's the truth and the real.
Yeah, like for example, right? So for many people have a definition of for abundance, right?
Yeah, there you go.
But in our experience, that definition, based on what most people learn about abundance and in society and in their family structures, that definition is paradoxically quite limited. Right? And this brings us back to the formula we talked about earlier. If you're not able to detach from the definition or the belief being the only version of truth, then you're no longer at the choice convergence point. Right? You're stuck into one version of reality. And the lesson there was to be, yes, clear on your definitions, but don't be so locked into them that they limit your experience of the infinity matrix.
Right.
Right? So going into 2022, a good definition to unpack, which just works out timely for us, or redefine is the 5G network, because there's a lot of stuff going on around news and this and that about the 5G network being good, not good, whatever, around the world now, and causing this, creating that, or gonna create these types of things. In that episode 32, we redefined the 5G network so that it's an empowering definition for you. And so, do you want to review what the 5Gs are,
Yeah.
Ross?
So again, this is where we as a being, are both transmitting and receiving signals. And going back to what I said earlier about the secret, is it's like, yes, that's partially true. Going back to what Gary was saying about definitions, yes, there's all of these are pieces. So if you're a broadcaster, if your body is a broadcaster, what are you actually broadcasting? What signal are you actually sending out? So we define the 5G network as a network of glory, growth, gifts, grace, and gratitude. And glory, I'll define each one of those for you real quickly. Glory is to be recognized for what you are and what you will be. And growth is as a vibration of all possibilities. Get out of these limitations. Gratitude, you reconnect with your heart's desires, and you become grateful for it and everything that comes into your environment, into your being. You're grateful for it. I'm grateful for breathing. I'm grateful for where I'm at right now. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share this information with you. I'm grateful for my partner Gary. Grace as a specific state of mind, a calmness, and a level-headedness. You're in a state of grace when you're in the eye of the storm. And gifts. The most unappreciated or one of them all. I mean, it's gifts is gifts are unique to each and every soul of this existence. And as a global society, to unite our collective consciousness and intensify its energy and to be effective at creating lasting change and or shifts, we must create circumstances and situations that are representative of a greater acceleration of our collective awareness. It's a matter of how we're arranging our society, about what is that is important for you to focus on about the idea of how each and every one of us must now do what needs to be done in order to become more closely connected to all of humanity.
Yeah. So
Your
to honor your gifts, sorry, to honor your gifts and to express them is so important, right? And that's where in the 5G network is to honor the gifts that you have, be open for more gifts, and to express them, to give them back out and radiate that, because we need it. Again, it's so we can connect with all humanity, right?
But so many people, think about that. Think about this. So many people, when they're caught in that chaos of the storm, they don't feel like they have a gift. They don't feel like they're special. They don't feel like they're unique
Mm-hmm.
and such. And our intention is to draw those back out of you. And if you know that they're there already, then to expand on them because they have a place. They have a place, and the world has a need.
Yeah.
We can discuss what we consider to be the essential 5G cellular network.
Mm-hmm.
You can be established for individuals to alter the very fabric of reality on a moment to moment basis, creating a network that resonates with the core of your authentic self and aligns with the laws of reality that we know of it. That's why Gary
And
and I.
don't let the media's definition of 5G cellular network be one that you adopt. Let that be theirs. You can choose your own definition. So when you vibrate with that language, and when you see that language, it has a different meaning to you. That's how you hack the matrix. You take what's already there, but you shift it so it supports you instead of it supporting others or taking you down, bringing you down, or putting you in a place of less empowerment. It's gonna be out there. It's a part of the infiniteness of all. So take it and transform it so that you are empowered, regardless of what's out there, and not
Exactly.
get caught up into the hype or the narrative that they're trying to put out. Just notice that that's a narrative,
That's what it is.
right?
And this is the core framework of the infinity process that we've
Mhm.
developed. It took us 12 years to develop it.
Yeah,
Such, is to, okay, well, that's that. Right. Well, I'm going to redefine that.
yeah.
It's far greater than that, but that's a very simplified variation of it. So now, when you understand the 5G network, every time you hear it on the news or see it on your telephone or see it on a billboard or whatever, you're gonna go, yes, gratitude, grace, glory, my gifts. All this is just gonna pop into your mind. You're going, yeah, okay, I can dig the 5G network. I am the 5G network. because this is what I'm radiating. These are the signals that I'm sending out, and these are the signals and the energy that I'm receiving.
Mhm.
So everybody just keep on radiating that energy to me because I am growing from it. So something about the frequency of gratitude that has truly, gosh, we did a whole, we've done a couple shows on this, but it just has this transformational properties. And as you connect with true and honest gratitude for things in your reality, it's like you open up a reality portal to a future filled with things that you desire from your core.
Mhm.
And from there you begin to radiate out into the infinity matrix, that emotional signature for receiving more of those things.
Yeah, and we really go through that in quite a bit of detail in that episode. And the because of timing, I want to kind of make sure that you get the essence of the hack that we also shared there, which was really kind of tapping to the energetic frequency of each of these and how they align with different chakras.
Yes.
And so if you put yourself in a meditative state and you start with the feeling, the essence, and the concept that you have for grace, right? And you tap the forehead and you just kind of touch the forehead to kind of just give it a reference point that you put grace, the energy of grace there, and you breathe into that and you kind of feel the energy around that. And then you align it with gratitude, which is in the heart. So you go to the heart chakra and you again, you feel the essence of gratitude in its full totality. And then you link that with the solar plex, which is the next one down, which is which is glory, and you again feel that whole whatever glory means to you and the definition of it and the vibration of that in your solar plexus fully and completely kind of filling you up there, right? And then the base of your spine where you feel growth, right? And you feel the energy of these all these from here to down to the base of the spine. And then while you're doing that, you connect them all back up in a loop to the top of your head, which is connected to the gifts within, right? The gifts that are within you and the gifts from the infinity matrix as well, that all kind of converge, right? And you do this as a daily practice to activate and strengthen your personal 5G network in 2022. And notice what starts to happen in your life, right? And, from what I remember, it was a particularly popular one. We had some great discussions about on Down the Rabbit Hole, which, by the way, you can all come to join us on this Saturday. Yes, we'll still be on 8 a.m. PST. May not be as long as normal. We'll see how it goes and how many people show up, but we will be doing Down the Rabbit Hole. It's a great opportunity if you jump on a live Zoom call. The link is running down the bottom there. hackingtheinfinitymatrix.com/rabbit hole. Just register for the Zoom link. It's free. It's an opportunity for us to have an extended conversation, for you to ask us questions, for even to share insights with us. So please come and join us. Again, just go to the link, register for the Zoom, and then on 8 a.m. PST Saturday morning, jump on. I'm gonna just do it. What you'll do is when you get there, you'll actually see. Let me do. Oh, I can't solo that. Why can't I solo that? That's odd. Okay, so you'll get to this page here. You'll just enter your name and info there, and then you'll register, and then you'll get the link sent to your inbox, and then you can join us for that live stream.
It's a lot of fun. So make sure you get the time right. So it's 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's so sad when people join us right at the end. Like, oh, I got the time wrong. I'm like, there's a conversion. This is the internet age. There's a time conversion. But that's why we put the actual time zone on there.
Yeah, actually, let me just show it again. So in here, when you get to here, you just click this where it says under show time in. Just click that, and you can choose the time zone that fits for you, and then you'll get the exact time for yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So now in episode 36, right, we do introduce, making the unknown your friend. And I mean, it's again another really great topic.
Yeah.
With our time here, Ross, I think we should kind of cover it. I don't know how deeply we want to go into it, but it's the idea is that
Really
we
important.
want to make the unknown your friend. That it's not something to be fearful of. It's the unknown that holds within it the mystery and the wonders of everything you've ever wanted and never got. Okay. Remember that every single one of us start out in life from a place full with unknowns, right? That was the natural state. All right. And the difference is that as a kid, you're excited about it. You want to unravel the mysteries.
Right.
The prospect of the unknown is intriguing. But then we get into the school system and we're taught that we'll get punished if we don't know stuff for your entire school life, right? It's ingrained that knowing is the thing and not knowing is bad, right? So we shy away from it, right? And if you think about it, if you only wanted to experience the known stuff, then everything that you have right now is all you'll ever have. Right? We recommend you actively search for opportunities to embrace the unknown every day. Let it keep you off balance, keep you alert and fresh every moment, and then sense those times when the gap from the reality you're experiencing to the one you prefer is right in front of you. And the only way to access it is to leap. And if I recall, I did a pretty cool transinduction at the end of that episosode,
Yeah, you
which
did.
everyone can go back to and listen to on repeat, right? And so,
Right.
by the way, quick, and then I'll let you go there, Ross.
Yeah.
Our replays you can get, we throw it up on the screen again, is hackingtheinfinitymatrix.com/replays
They're
right there,
all there.
right? For another couple weeks before we change it for VIP members in the private group.
Yeah. So, use of externally focused metaphors to code in experiences and learnings that will have a completely different impact on each and every one of you while you all think you're listening to and getting the same experience.
Yeah.
So, the problem with many people have is that they hang on for dear life to the bar they get familiar with and don't want to let go. So they miss all these opportunities. They get stuck, tired, and lose their life's momentum. What you need to do is to keep the momentum. And on each swing, this way or that way, look ahead to the distance and lock in on what that trapeze bar is swinging towards you. You know how those they get up and then they kind of start little this and a little this, and then they get up, and then you see them really kick and they get way back. They pull that sling way back because they know that they have a big distance that they're going to traverse.
Yeah.
You know, in life there's 5 guarantees. The first guarantee is that you exist. That's pretty much a guarantee. And we've talked about this on many other streams. The second one is everything you need to experience existence is here and now. There is no past and there is no real future. There really is only now. And the third is the one is the all and the all is the one. Meaning that the internal matrix is a direct reflection of the external matrix. And whatever is out there is in here. In here. They cannot exist without the other. And the fourth guarantee is that since you exist, and everything needed for you to exist is here and now, and there is no out there without there also being an in here experience, the fourth guarantee is that what you put out is what you get back. The vibrational frequency that you radiate most constantly and congruently, 5G network, is what you get back as the experience that you have. And because existence requires change to have experiences. And the fifth, your fifth guarantee. You ready for this? This is very long, very convoluted. Your fifth guarantee is that everything changes except the first four guarantees.
That's it.
That's it. It's okay to be in that unknown space. Savor it. It's a place of complete, absolute possibilities. It's like a hallway of infinite options, and the only key you need to open any of the doors is the clarity of your intent.
Yeah. And I'd like to give a shout out to our teacher Bashar, who gave us
Yes.
those five guarantees, because they really resonate and have for many years with us. So there are some very powerful lessons within getting and understanding those five guarantees.
Mm-hmm.
In episode 39, we did blend it with 40, and I think it was because of some technical issues. I don't remember why
So
that
yeah, there
happened,
was
but
for whatever reason, I don't know if it was a
was it our
power
software
failure.
live?
Oh, it was a software problem.
Yeah, I think it was our live stream software. There's some issues, and we weren't able to do
Yeah,
one next day.
that live stream was a dead stream. It lasted 2 minutes.
Yeah. So, the 3940 was a combination. 40 was a combination of 39 and 40. So it was quite packed with content, and the biggest takeaway I think one that when you understand the power of a question, you access what we call infinity thinking. You're able to open up portals of reality to experience whatever it is you want in life, because your mind is a goal-seeking mechanism that responds to whatever input it gets. Right? It doesn't judge it. It just says, well, that's what I get, so that's what I work with. Right? So when you give it a query of any kind, it automatically sets out on a mission to find the answer. So your entire reticular activating system, your RAS, adjusts and presents to you what you need to get the answer. Right or wrong, it just get an answer, not even that answer. It get an answer, right? Something to answer that thing that you question or posed, in the form of what you see, what you hear, what you feel and experience.
Exactly. So whenever that situation or circumstances is whatever it is consider these questions and notice what happens for you in respect to your thoughts, your emotions, and even the overall experience. Where were you when you were deciding that? And just before that, where were you? From there, how many options did you have then that you could have considered now? How many options did you have then that you could have considered now? And four, what does that do to your decisions in your future now? Number five is, as you look back and think about where you are now, what was it that caused the problems or problem? And from a place of hindsight, what would you like to change, alter, or transform? And what are the solutions that you had way back when you were deciding all of this originally? So now, when will you decide now to stop the limitations that you've set unconsciously? This is a big one. Let me repeat that. When will you decide now to stop the limitations that you've set unconsciously? And then, how many ways will you know you've solved this into the quantum reality you prefer by the end of 2021?
And into 22.
And then, how is that different from where you are now? These are questions. Questions, questions, questions. We love questions. These 10 questions will take your mind on a bit of a quantum journey and can be applied to just about any situation that you want to experience in more empowering ways. And basically, you'd be giving yourself a mini therapy session. You're on the chair, you're on the couch, you're on the chair, you're on the couch, you're on the chair, you're on the couch. Take these questions and contemplate them to see what arises for you and how it affects that reality you are focusing on. And through the process of knowing you have choice, you can access that inner confidence to know that whatever you set your mind to, it is possible. Which then leads to the next part of our stream, which is gaining absolute empowerment through genuine confidence.
Yeah. Now, here's one you can piece together with what we covered today into your own holiday hack. Okay. Step one: keep the formula in mind. Okay.
Yes.
Keep the formula in mind and look at the variables that are controlling your experience, especially the capacity to detach from the outcome. Then shift or alter each one of those variables until your reality begins to present what you prefer on a day-to-day basis. Step two: utilize the many tools we've been given to remain in the eye of the storm and consciously choose if you want to step into it and make your own impact. Step three: activate and strengthen your 5G network every day. Step four: stay off balanced. And because we say not balanced, we want you to be off balanced so that you're leaning in the direction of growth and evolution by making the unknown your friend. And step five: practice and master your ability to see things as this and that instead of this or that in life. Use your infinity thinking. Right? And remember that we will share these hacks in the private group. If you haven't already joined, you can just go ahead and go to facebook.com/groups/the infinite matrix. Answer the 3 entry questions. You'll be automatically entered into the group and become part of our 8,000 plus growing community. But if you don't answer the questions, the system will boot you out. So you've got a lot here today. You can catch the replays, as I mentioned earlier, for another couple of weeks at that link. Unless you're part of the part of the private group, then you'll have access after 2021 starts. And that's our stream for today.
That is it.
That was a lot. So be well. Take the leap to hack your infinity matrix and master the art of designing your reality in 2022 and beyond. We challenge you. So come and join us in our community. And until next time, everyone, be well.
Fantastic holiday to everybody.
Yes,
Enjoy,
absolutely.
enjoy, enjoy.